here I am again, late at night where it's safe, right? So I'm not so, okay, I'm not as brave to do this during the regular time of the day as I am at night. I guess my courage comes up at night. Anyway, those who are interested and were on last night, thank you so much for the private messages and encouragement and things like that on last night's live. Today, it's day 2 of Why Be Brave. So I'm just going to get right to it. And if anybody wants to send me any messages and say that they're watching or anything like that, it'll be great. If you have any more questions or want to discuss stuff later on, just shoot me a message or leave me a question right here, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway, day 2 of Why Be Brave. We can only keep on going, after all, by the power of God, who first saved us and then called us to this holy work. We had nothing to do with it. It was all His idea. A gift prepared for us in Jesus long before we knew anything about it. But we know it now. That came from 2 Timothy 1, verse 8 and 9, and that was from the Message version of Scripture. Annie says, I got to travel to Honolulu, Hawaii to speak at a conference. One afternoon, I walked into the Kailua Starbucks to write for a bit and saw 0 tables available. I didn't really have a plan. Didn't really have a plan B for where to write, so I got in line to get my drink anyway. A table opened up between a vacationing couple and 3 tan and adorable surfer dudes. The surfers were talking about their marriages, so I tuned out because, they had wives already. I began to unpack, and just because of the proximity, the tables were close, y'all. You can tell she's from Georgia. I couldn't help but check back into their conversation, and I heard them talking about absolute truth and how God is the only thing that is absolute. And suddenly, I realized I was watching the 2 of them share their stories of Jesus with their 3rd friend. My heart began to race. That conversation takes courage. Sharing your story takes guts. I know, maybe you think I'm being dramatic. I tell you, this woman sounds like she's writing for me. But listen, that guy, hearing how Jesus is the answer, his life is forever different and his future is forever altered because those 2 surfer dudes were brave enough to say the things about Jesus that they know to be true. Seeing other people be brave makes me want to be brave too. It's like a domino effect. I felt it in me as I listened to them, the want to share my story. That's why you'll see rational adults going down a loop-de-loop water slide, even if they don't want to, because they want to show their kids it isn't scary. That's why we have to start. That's why we have to go first. That's why we have to be brave, so that others will be inspired to be brave along with us. We can be brave because we were always meant to be brave. It is scary to be who you're meant to be. It doesn't feel easy because sometimes it's not. But we were made for this. Like today's scripture says, we have holy work. Why be brave? Because when we're brave enough to share the stories about God in our life, it changes the people around us. It changes us to share them. Again, she mentions that little note in all of this story here. Seeing other people be brave makes me want to be brave too. I think that happens a lot. If you see someone has the courage to step forward and do something, it kind of gives you the courage to step forward and do something. Me doing these silly live videos, not knowing how many, if any, are going to be interested in them or not. I can say it's silly instead of saying it's brave. And yeah, it is kind of brave and maybe even stupid. But hey, I'm brave enough and tough enough to handle it if you don't like it either. Just something to think about. They suggest when you're going through this series that you take a little notepad or something at the end of this. There's a few thoughts for you to ponder and think about, share with someone, me, a friend, anyone. And we're going to talk about being brave. And it says to think back on your day to day. Where can you see God working on your behalf? I can see a few things. Didn't necessarily like the things I was going through and growing through, but I can see where He's working to make me a better person and help me be better for other people, just simply by leading by example on some things and character that matter today. So where can you see God working on your behalf, or simply just showing up for you? And if you can think of something, share that with somebody. Go on out there, my friends. Be brave. Share the happy stuff. Make someone's day better. Empower each other. So, have a good night, y'all. Oh, great. I'm sounding like I'm from Georgia now, too. But you have a good night. If you want to listen to day 3, I'll try to get on about the same time tomorrow night. So, thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed this little bitty snippet about each of us being on a 100-day journey to be brave. Thanks. Have a good night. God bless.